Hi, I'm Maryann Mohamoud. I'm from Somalia. I'm Somalian, but I was born Ethiopia, a small town called Warder. Um, but I'm really in Somali women. I was grow up in the capital city, Mogadishu. My aunt raised me. I came this country in 1985 for medical reasons and also to do with FGM complication. Um, and I live here, New Salem, Massachusetts. I moved there 1996, and prior to that, I was living in Boston, Massachusetts when I first came at 12 years old. At 12 years, and then I moved in Western Massachusetts, 1996.
Yeah, hi, my name is Kate Kendel. Um, I'm Danish, black Danish, but I come originally from Sierra Leone, where I was born, but raised up by a Danish Norwegian couple, and have been taken away from my biological parents from the time I was about 8 to 9. And I grew partly up in Norway, Denmark, and partly in Sierra Leone with my foster parents who are Danish. Um, I've been in Denmark most of my life. I went to school there and got my education there. And now I came to the USA in February month to promote my documentary film, The Secret Pain, which is a film about female circumcision, and which main aim is to educate people about the genocide or the circumcision of women. Thank you.
And the original I say I'm from Somalia. I have a program. I'm founder of Breaking the Silence, um, involved with women and girls go through FGM, female genital mutilations. When I was Somalia, I was in this procedure when it's done to me. I was 5 years old, and it was really harsh and hard, and I was being really mutilated in a Pharaonic way. And I have a lot of complications since and then, and also my friend's sister go through this procedure. Um, I was helping when I was teenage. I was working at Marina Hospital, helping women survival FGM go through this procedure, circumcisions. At the time, I really didn't have much understanding FGM and what it's all about, and all I know is just the culture thing, and you know, they cut you off and be done this procedure, but is the biggest picture is really involved mentally, physical, psychologically, and those three I mentioned, it was really involved me: depression, anxiety, pain, constant pain all the times, and infections. So when I came United States, uh, let me go back when Somalia, I was helping all the sisters, cousins, neighbors, the hospitals, and ease their pain. That's all I can give them, just nourish them and give them pain. When I came here, uh, I used to translate the immigrant when they move in Boston, social work, the hospital and the doctors, and I come involved with a lot of big hospitals. Women go like Brigham Women's, Boston hospitals, Mass Generals, different kind of hospital, and would go with women. And first, when the doctor examined it, and women, they all the doctor, what I noticed, they have a lack of the experience for FGMs. And when they open a woman and examine gynecology, and it's like, oh, this part of your culture, starting to do something about it, it's like, well, that's your culture. There's nothing really much we can do, and we can't refer to you any places, any specialty. That really bothers me. We here, United States, beautiful country, medical miracle, and doctors and nurse, and yet they have no clue how to treat the women's survivors and the girls. Sometimes the girl like 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, and she have this procedure, and they have no clue how to treat her, even how they opening up the little girl or women if sometimes the period is stuck, menstruation, and won't come out, and what they're gonna do. So it's really tough. When I came 1985, I've been through a lot of doctors. The first thing they say, what happened to you, is like, they never experienced someone like me before, because it wasn't much refugee at the time, immigrant. And so I went studying knowledgeable doctors, really treat you the way you're supposed to, and trained by, when they go to medical school, they never have a clue to go. And so that's what driven to me, really. And just as much I'm angry what happened to me, but also I was mad our here United States, our doctors, what they lack of the experience. I'm not saying they dumb, they can be very well educated, but yet they could be trained or do something about it. Yet I haven't seen it, maybe few of them, but not much. So I came Western Massachusetts. I go through the same symptoms, same experience, and that's what drives me to really break the silence and educate the doctors. That's the biggest important to hear. We need it in the United States, and the nurse, midwives, anyone who involve women and girls, so we can have a treatment. And studying, I don't know, yes we know, and we can treat you. That's my main goal. That's what we want to do. And also women's here, we never deal with this issue or talk about it. It's always hidden secret and silent, and we don't have to be silent. And if I can pass that, being silent and be ashamed about it and be embarrassment, who else, if I come out, then women can come out slowly and progress. And this issue very, very sensitive and very taboo, but we have to do as a dignity, as private, like Kate said earlier, and also not judgmental. We have to be patient. That's what I learned last few years, all the year, but in here, Massachusetts, that's what I learned. No judgmental, be patient, because this is a very private part. As a woman, you get very sensitive and very defensive when the private, even I was one time, but we have to pass that, and slowly. So women breaking the silence is break the silence and come to realize this has happened to us, and there's nothing we can do. It's over. It can't be irreplaceable, but we can move on. And how can we do that?
Yeah, the culture where I was born, the word circumcision doesn't or didn't exist. A word like joining the female secret society existed, and it was the wish of every young girl to join the women's fellowship, to join the women's secret society. And you only know about circumcision the moment when it's going to take place. I was sent back as a 16-year-old back to my biological parents, who saw it as everybody else in the society, as 90% of the females in Sierra Leone, that they had to circumcise me in order to control